Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Timeless Work, Career, Vocation read. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons. Mal, for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. My legacy in the written word until I write another one. Creator on Patreon, patreon.com/drawing the circle. The Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. And it's time for the Work, Career, Vocation reads, also known as a 3 levels of power reading, and there is a link in the description box by Carolyn Myss, MYSS. She is a PhD. These are her archetype cards explaining the 3 levels of power, 3 archetypal symbolic lenses at which you can look at your life in these 3 different ways. We are looking at life purpose in terms of what you do to survive, your creative energy, and your higher vision. Your work, career, your vocation, will explain that as we go. There are chakras involved. We're doing 13 cards here, ending with the new deck that I got last time I was up in Saratoga from the Magic Moon. We got the chakra reading cards, Rockpool Publishing, Rachel or Rachel Sharman, C-H-A-R-M-A-N. Don't know how she pronounces her name. Please don't cancel me. But let's try and have fun with this, well aware of what's going on in the world at the time of this recording. Look at this, the timestamp date. So helping people fulfill their life purpose is just part of what a spiritual teacher does. It's part of what a reader, a professional intuitive, tries to do. And certainly bringing the 3 of them into alignment, which I have done. My work, career, and my vocation are all in one movement of energy. It took me decades to do it. And I've been doing these readings for clients for decades, so if you do want a private read, there's a video in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal explains everything for you, just like Clarissa, if you're old enough to know what that means. That being said, it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Find your leverage. Which level of power has the leverage for you? Because just as an example, your sun sign might have leverage in work. Your moon, maybe more your vocation. Your rising, your Venus might be more about your career. In the center lay in the personal level of power. Only you can know that. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs. Other than that, focus on your breath. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will. I'll get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can, because as you fulfill your life purpose, it helps everybody else fulfill theirs, right? And that helps you navigate what you got to get done in this life, yeah? So let's do this. Please. Take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, for the Sagittarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, please. I need 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards to indicate the soul powers being developed, alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, shadow to light in their work, career, vocation. Let's start with the 8th chakra of their work. Their survival intuition, though it is the lower 3 chakra dominant. What's going on in their career, their personal level of power, their feminine energy, their inside world, what they yearn for, their creative intuition, heart, their 3rd eye crown dominant, and for their calling, their mystical power, their spiritual power, their inspiration that calls them forward, right? Their sealed orders, their spiritual mission, their divine mission. 8th chakra dominant, their visionary creativity. I was trying to say creative visualization by Shakti Gawain, I guess. What's the dominant soul power being alchemized? They are in their vocation, their spiritual calling, in this timeless Work-Career-Vocation read. Now, just so you know, I do have landscapers in the area. It's spring. They're here way too early, in my opinion. They could have waited until the temperatures were steadily above 50 degrees, but they're not. It's not the guy's fault who's doing it. So if I have to pause this because they are literally blowing leaf blowers at my building, I will get right back to you. Let's see what these are, though we lay them down. Work, career, vocation. You actually interpret them, vocation, career, and work. Take from the 8th chakra down. So you present as the Hermit, Exorcist, Prostitute. Well, that sounds like quite a bit of work. But the prostitute has very little to do with sex work. Just putting that out there. We will get to it as a survival family archetype in the survival intuition. So that's pretty clear. But here you have the Hermit, a divine family archetype in your vocation, your divine energy stuff. You have got the Exorcist also in the divine family of archetypes of the 9 families in your career, your internal world, and the Prostitute, a survival family. So 2 divines and a survival. Let's start with the Hermit. Like I said, wisdom family archetype. This is a divine family archetype. Although the Hermit can have a foot in each family. Some of them do that. The shadow is what you have to deal with, right? The lead, the toxicity, what you're being challenged with. The light is what you're shooting for. The shadow attribute of the Hermit withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others. I'll cop to that one. Refusing to help those in need, that I don't do. So you find your way on what that is. The shadow's what you don't want to look at within yourself, or if you are aware of it, you certainly don't want anybody else to know about it. The light attribute, bringing the shadow to light, seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity, which really does point to your creative intuition. The next card and level of power we're looking at, the internal world, the Exorcist, also called the shaman in certain circles. The shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Now, I just had this conversation with somebody. What is a demon? A demon is an angel that has fallen. So they're angels. They just forgot, or they lost their wings, or they're in pain, whatever. These are the collective fears we have. Not just in our own personal sphere, which this is the personal fear, but they're also certainly collective, the 7 deadly sins. Shall we? Let's. We've got hubris, toxic pride, we've got greed, we've got entitlement, which used to be called lust and luxury, now it's called entitlement, we've got wrath, we've got gluttony, we've got envy, we've got sloth, and sloth ain't about being lazy. Sloth is about, you know what wisdom to put into action, but you don't because you're afraid. Yeah. So, the light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. I can relate to this too. I do not claim the word shaman for myself, even though it is an Anglo-Saxon word. It is very indigenous people, and I'm indigenous to New York, all right? In this lifetime, I'm a witch. Thank you very much. Nobody claims the name witch, unless they really want to be a witch. So that's interesting. Definitely shadow work indicated here in your center lane, heart, third eye crown, the world behind your eyes. Nobody needs to know about it unless you want them to. Totally going to affect your creativity, particularly if there are some spiritual wounds in place that you are contemplating about who you are and what you truly are underneath the costume and makeup of humanity, the ego, and the personality. But the prostitute archetype, as I said, is a survival family archetype. Everybody has the 4 survival family archetypes. They are non-negotiable and they are lifelong. The child, which has different sub-patterns, comes up in these readings a lot. The victim, which is the lead, the toxic. The victor, as in victory, the gold, if you will, the light. The saboteur, the shadow, the empowerer, the light, right? Do you sabotage or do you empower yourself or others? And the prostitute certainly is complex, but is really about if you will negotiate your faith away for comfort, which we are all tested in the physical world if we will prostitute ourselves or not. And a teeny tiny part of the archetype has to do with sex work, so please take that into consideration. The shadow attribute places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. It's staying in a toxic situation because you're afraid to take the leap of faith. Now, everybody has to do that. Governmental administrations, when they know something is toxic, but they have to stay with it, because what will happen if I don't do this and I don't do that? I'll lose my pension, I'll lose my name, my fame, my status, right? The light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. And this has been a major, well, it's always been a major challenge on planet Earth to do that, right? To not compromise your integrity, your faith in yourself, your faith in the past for material gain or comfort. That's hard. But I'll tell you this, if you pass that test, if you actually alchemize that and you say, oh, no, I have a faith in something much higher here, but I do have some fears that might be scaring the crap out of me, then you can go through this wisely and well. That's the most we're going to talk about any of these cards individually, because now it's tarot time. At the 8th chakra, hovering over the head, that affects the electromagnetics of all of the chakras and all of your energy fields underneath that, right? It's like that's the dominant program that then downloads into everything else, what you attract and you repel. So we're going to get 3 of these to look at the next 4 chakras down for each. Spiritual power, mental power, willpower, emotional power, crown, third eye, throat, and heart. Daughters of the Moon Tarot, essentially your feminine energy, your yin dynamic. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of fire, the sign of Sagittarius, powers of the south. Please, 3 cards in clarity, one at a time, face up. For the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in this timeless Work-Career-Vocation read in their 8th chakra. They have got the Hermit archetype somewhere on that scale between shadow and light, lead and gold. What's going on that they need to be aware of? Heart, third eye, crown in their vocation. All right, good. The Virgo card, when it's a court card, as this one is, the Maiden of Pentacles, that would be the Knight of Pentacles, mutable Earth Virgo. I am a Virgo. When it's heart, third eye, crown, it's inside of you. It's not necessarily someone else outside of you, although it could be their influence, perhaps, if they've gotten under your skin, I guess you could say. But we are looking at 6th house dynamic, Virgo. Health and occupation. So if you are occupying yourself with something healthy, like, I don't know, seeking solitude to focus intently on inner life, serving your personal creativity, then certainly Virgo, mutable earth, is clay, is sand, can be molded into something creative and solid. Fuse it with fire, it becomes glass, right? Pound it together with earth and water, let it dry in fire, it becomes a brick. It becomes all sorts of different stuff. So, you know, this is a slow and steady wins the race card of the 4 knights of the tarot. Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. Lada, the maiden here, a maiden of spring. Certainly speaks of the slowest moving knight, but also something that starts as a seed, grows and develops, and does take time. Earth signs, heart, third eye, crown, are also very much about the wisdom that you have gained from taking action in the world that cannot be stolen from you, because they're yours now, right? Wired through experience. Can't go back, right? All right, my goddesses. Exorcist in their career in the 8th chakra, right? Freeing themselves and others of destructive impulses. What's going on? Heart, third eye, crown there. The one with the Exorcist archetype. Here. Good. Justice. Ma'at. Weighing your heart against a feather. Checking in, bringing yourself into mental, emotional balance when it's a major arcana card, heart, third eye, crown. It's all 4 of them unified, right? Spirit. Not water, not fire, not earth, not air. Spirit, right? So we are looking at a place of balance here. I would say certainly freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses by bringing yourself into a mental emotional balance using your spirit, right? So it's not just about the third eye and the heart. It's about the choice to bring it into balance and the spiritual practice, the spiritual truth, the guidance, the grace to do just that. It is a divine family archetype. Liking that for you. Doesn't mean you have to rush through it though, right? My goddesses, they've got the prostitute in their work, which so many people are dealing with. Probably the majority of people, I would say 85-90% of the people on the planet dealing with that right now, or have since the pandemic began, right? How do I make money? How do I survive? How do I do this? Lord knows I went through it, but I did not compromise myself more. Well, I stopped when I realized I was burning out on the YouTube treadmill. Yeah, that's when I jumped over to Patreon. Took me a while. Takes us a while. So please, my goddesses, what's going on for them in their work, their survival intuition? But heart, third eye, crown dynamic is, woohoo, you're going through it. You got the death card, the phoenix card, usually rising from the ashes more than going to them. But it does speak again of a form of alchemy, right? To alchemize the lead to gold, to go through the fire, to go through the death and rebirth going on inside of you. This would say to me, this is someone who's not necessarily lost their way, but is no longer the person who did what they used to do, right? They might still be doing it. We'll see. The next three cards down will be about the outside world to an extent, the lower three chakra stuff, the physical world. But certainly, there is no rush. Like, I don't see, you may have to temporarily put up with something, but if you know you're doing it to get to a goal, you can have faith. But I do not see with the Hermit that you're necessarily telling a lot of people about this. And certainly you're trying to do this fairly, but you are fighting the demons inside of you that would perhaps have it otherwise, particularly if you've got something on the people, place, or thing that you are working with or for. Just that somebody out there, right? You could probably ruin the business, but you want to do this fairly. You want to walk away clean, particularly if the workspace is abusive, neglectful, codependent, yeah? And your soul is probably suffering. But this is very much about your spirit. I mean, particularly it's right here, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit, with the divine family archetype, trying to be just and balanced about all of this, with your calling still in process, but one that you're definitely turning inward to try to connect more with. Okay. All right. Let's do the Mythic Tarot for the lower three chakras, the masculine aspect. You from the outside looking in at yourself, maybe you from the inside looking out at a person, place, or thing. But certainly lower three chakras are about relationships. Root chakra, groups. 3 or more people in any way, shape, or form, from your genetic nationality, racial consciousness, to being human, as well as to your small circle of friends. I was a member of the Bad Reputation Nation for Joan Jett. Even that's a tribe. You with me? Second chakra, one-on-one relationship to yourself or another person or thing. Solar plexus, which I feel like is kind of highlighted here with that prostitute archetype, your relationship to yourself. Your honor code, your boundaries, your self-esteem, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't. All 3 of these will involve survival, right? The lower 3 chakra dynamic. That's enough. Breathe. Still point. My gods of fire. Sign of Sagittarius, powers of the South, please. 3 cards in clarity, one at a time, straight up for the Sagittarian Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the lower 3 chakra read on this one? The masculine energy, from the outside looking in, inside looking out, lower 3 chakras. They have got the Hermit in their vocation, Virgo on the inside, filtering. Definitely. Ruled by the intestine, sifting and sorting, but taking their time. This is worth waiting for. This is worth going slow and being precise and exact. particularly with the Hermit. What's going on there on the outer? Four of Wands. Okay, so you're not ready to battle just yet. This is Jason and the Argonauts right before they go to get the dragon to retrieve the golden fleece. Ancient Greek myth. They're setting up on the beach. They're getting their supplies together, right? They're girding their loins in a time of rest. Fours are usually about rest and stability before moving into the five of change and chaos, which fighting a dragon would certainly do that. And certainly it's considered an engagement card because of the Rider-Waite Tarot, Four of Wands, but that is not necessarily dominant in the artwork of this deck. I would say that you're being given the pause button, the time, the space to really clarify what it is that you want, what you will choose. Element of fire, perhaps looking at your options. In your career, as we said here, we've got the Exorcist, with Ma'at, the Justice card on the inner, and I hear lawnmowers in the distance. Really? You're gonna come right in front of my house? Am I gonna have to pause this thing? Oh my god, 1, 2, 3 more cards left. Let's see. If it gets bad, I will. Breathe. Still point. Well, I live in suburbia. What the fuck do you want? Right, spirit guides? Please, my gods, the Exorcist in the 8th chakra. Ma'at on the inner. What's going on the outer for the Sagittarians here in their career? Ace of Cups. This might very well be your leverage. And I say that because only you can make the decision here to free yourself and others of destructive impulses by bringing yourself into balance. But with the Ace of Cups in the Mythic Tarot, Aphrodite, sweet and flighty, not even in her see-through nighty, offering a cup of love, that there is something most likely coming towards you that does light you up, but it's a seed. It's probably a risk, and your demons are rising up saying, are you going to be able to survive doing that? Are people going to like it? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? You don't know if it's going to work. Is it going to work? Why don't you just stay where you are? Why don't you just stay where you are? Play it safe, play it safe, play it safe until you croak. And then you look back and go, oh, fuck did I play it safe? Apparently I did that enough times. Purple-haired professional witch from Long Island. Yeah? Life's a risk. Every day you step out of bed, it's the Fool card. But there is definitely something that has either been delivered to you or soon will be that lights you up and gets you into this place of, okay, I need to bring myself into balance. I need to do this fairly. This Ace of Cups, because there is such a Libra dominant thing with the scales of the Justice card alone, ruled by Venus, also Aphrodite here with the Exorcist. I'm seeing shadow work here. Maybe even working with, if not for, somebody who is familiar with the work, for you to really face your inner demons, your fears, because they are collective. Everybody's afraid right now of something somewhere because of the illusion of separation in general. We're all one. If everybody got that, we'd stop hurting each other. That's just quantum. So this offer of love, either you extending it or you taking it in, but are you going to do it as a demon or an angel? I hate to use that language, but it does kind of work. All right, my gods, the Prostitute in the 8th chakra of their survival intuition, right? Their work in the world. Not everybody gets paid for their work. I get paid for my career, not my work. My work is a lot of busy work, a lot of production work that I don't get paid for, but I do get paid for my creativity as an artist, a healer, a teacher, a reader. So what's going on here for them? Prostitute in the 8th, the Death card, the Phoenix, hopefully rising from instead of going to ashes. The lower 3 chakras, the masculine energy part of this, the Wheel of Fortune. You have major arcana dominant, well, balanced. Right? You've got the Death card, you've got the Justice card, you've got the Wheel of Fortune, that's 3 out of 6, so that's half, but no other element dominant. Everything else is 1 water, 1 fire, 1 earth. So we are looking at take your time. This is something woven into the tapestry of the fates. Fate is what you can't change. Destiny is what you do with it if You take the journey if you heal, if you follow the guidance, the grace, the inspiration. Be authentic, be honorable. It's a hero's journey, and hell, if the hero's journey was easy, we would all be heroes by now. Right? Doesn't work that way. There is a process of internal alchemy here, but do understand this is an inflection point. The wheel is turning. It is time to move on. But you really have to look at, am I prostituting myself? And again, if you can take it out of the second chakra sexual reference, bring it into the solar plexus. That's where I notice my my prostitute archetype tends to present itself. When something feels wrong here, usually it's saying it's a violation of my honor code, something of my boundaries that I may or may not be aware of. But only I'm going to be getting that in the room. No one else can know what's in your boundaries, what's in your honor code but you. The real challenge here. So for the challenge being in work, if that is your case, it really feels like your leverage comes in your career, right? That internal work that's going to just fuel your internal energy. But of course, being guided by a hermitage. I don't see you talking to a lot of people about this in general. But certainly it does feel like prayer, meditation, spell work, anything like that, going with a higher power as you so choose to define it. It has to be applied heart, third eye crown. Just saying. We're going to get you 3 healing mantras in the Kahn healing mantra deck. Not doing the bookie book reads for these because there are 3 of them and these readings are long enough. But this will, I would think, help if you put them together, bring all the chakras into alignment and bring your work, career, and vocation into alignment as well, little by little by little. Breathe. Oh, let's sit back for this one. Is my pillow straight? Yes, it is. Still point. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of Life Purpose through the lenses of work, career, and vocation, please 3 healing mantra cards for the Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in this timeless work, career, vocation read. In their vocation, we got the Hermit in the 8th, Virgo on the inner, 4 of Wands on the outer. We'll do these without me looking at them. I'll read them all at once. In their career, I look down, they've got the Exorcist in the 8th, the Justice card, Ma'at, she who weighs the heart against an ostrich feather after death to decide where you're going next. Talk about a sorting hat, a big ostrich feather in it, and with, of course, that Ace of Cups. Definitely an opportunity, definitely a seed of emotion, a seed of love coming towards them. What's the perfect healing mantra to help them balance that out in their career and in their vocation? Prostitute archetype, perfect place for it, right? Survival family, right? Everybody's got the 4 survival families here, but with the Death card on the inner and Wheel of Fortune on the outer, it's either the end of the road or at a crossroads, time to make a change, but it's something that they agreed to come here to do. You can't have a sacred contract that's not woven in to the fate and destiny of this universe. So please, the perfect healing mantra for them in their work is on the table. And let's see who we got here. Now, again, we're going to read them from the 8th chakra down. In your vocation, you're creating cooperation because more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. In your career, you're anchoring the light. The light is always within me. Now, what was that? Yeah, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses or fear of facing your own demons. The light is always within me, and in your work you are untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all of the approval I desire, and I think you are in a neglective vibe there. That it's not so much you're being abused at work, promises aren't being kept. They say, oh, I have so many friends in this situation where they get hired by a boss and then the boss takes off for 2 weeks and doesn't phone in, absentee bosses, that kind of thing, or just saying they're going to do something and not doing it. You might be at the end of your rope in that. You might be going through an internal transformation as a result of it and having to rely on your faith and in your ability to heal yourself. It's almost like time is up here. It feels like, and you can continue to prostitute yourself, and you can go slowly with this. But I think the fates are lining you up for something here. So you can reverse this. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire in my work and my career. The light is always within me. In my vocation, more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. After all, though you are a hermit, you are part of a larger scenario. You're part of a planet. Oh, the weed whacker's here. Great. We're almost done. You think you can handle it? I think I can handle it. They're running outside my window. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why. Somebody's rats went to Boomtown. Let's get you this last card down. I love this deck. The Chakra Reading Cards by, I want to say Rachel, Rachelle, but it's Rochelle, isn't it? Like New Rochelle? New Rochelle? How to succeed in business without really trying. Charman, Sharman, not M-I-N. Rockpool Publishing. This may give us a little clue as to, again, where your leverage is. Let's see what hits the table. Last card down. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, what is the chakra reading message that you have for them? I'm going to read this one from the bookie book because there's delicious stuff in there. There's even an affirmation at the end of each one. Loving the artwork of this deck big time. So, what is the clarity, guidance, and grace, love, wisdom, and power? The chakra indicated to help them unify their chakra system, bring together their work, career, vocation, help them fulfill their life purpose in the divine plan in this timeless work, career, vocation reading. Nurturing. Card number 3. Are those lions or tigers? I think that's a lioness and a lion cub. I'm down for it. Mark Angelo Lyons. Card number 3, I think this is the Earth Stars. This is below the root chakra. The card is black. Still, I haven't obviously read every card in this yet. Yeah, the Earth Star Chakra, card number 3, and it's not terribly long. Let me read it to you. Breathe. Card number 3, Nurturing, from the Earth Star Chakra, meaning the core of the planet. You have called upon this card today as an invitation to create more nurturing in your life. It is easy to get caught up with the crazy hustle and bustle of the world. This has to do with that prostitute archetype, I'm telling you right now. Even though your leverage is in your career, this is talking definitely about your work. Forgetting to take a little time for yourself, Hermit, to give back, nurture, and receive the gifts and fruits of your labor work. The healing energy of nurturing is available to you now, and you are being encouraged to take a moment to honor yourself with this light. Something in your life is calling for some love and nurturing to bring yourself into balance. And here's the garbage truck. It is just one of those Mondays, isn't it? This we will pause for. It's like watching Autobot self-flagellation every single time. Picks it up, shakes it, hits itself with the dumpster. Where were we again? Oh boy. It's a Boomtown Rats flashback. Something in your life is calling for some love and nurturing. You are completely deserving of this love and attention. Do those things for yourself that allow you to feel this loving essence. Take a long, relaxing bath. Go for a massage. Spend time with friends and loved ones. Whatever allows you to feel nurtured. Make sure you do this for yourself, as it is a big part of your growth and healing at present. It is a natural state of being to nurture. However, due to fear, which we've got on the table here, we have learned to shut off and separate ourselves from the love and nurturing that surrounds us. Open yourself to the kindness in your heart and create some love in your life today. The affirmation, I am nurturing myself in all aspects of life, and I am open to receive this powerful, loving energy now and always. Why does neglect happen at all? Because people can't always give us what we want. We have to learn how to give ourselves what we need, and that's why it's written in. It's part of the soul's journey, the hero's journey, whatever you want to call it. But in terms of fulfilling your life purpose, this at least puts the power squarely in your hands and does say to me, again, I think this is your leverage. Even if you look at this as a lower three chakras, right, as offering yourself that cup of nurturing, beginning that, right, bringing yourself into fairness and balance. And, you know, freeing yourself from destructive impulses so that if you are to extricate yourself from this work situation, you do so clearly, cleanly, and for the well-being of all. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it together with a blessing summation. I do them both at once if you are new to the channel. This will be your first time doing it. I'll do that, give you a little blessing, and then we'll chat a little bit at the end, perhaps, for some further guidance and grace. Last time I'm going to ask you, Torch of Archangel Ariel at hand. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. And here we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, may they be blessed in their vocation, that they seek solitude to focus intently on their inner life, serving their personal creativity, and that they do that in that slow and steady wins the race. Knight of Pentacles, Virgo, really sifting and sorting and feeling their way through it. Heart, third eye crown, while perhaps they wait and nurture, while they rest, while they take that time to prepare for the Five of Wands, perhaps the challenge or the conflict coming, understanding that they are creating cooperation. More gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play, but if there is neglect involved, somebody hasn't been playing their role, and I don't think it's the Saggy I'm reading for. And so that in their career, they may be blessed with freeing themselves and others of destructive impulses, bringing themselves certainly into balance with Ma'at, the Justice card, Heart, third eye crown, with Aphrodite offering them a cup of love, a cup of nurturance, a seed, perhaps something that is exciting in terms of a new opportunity. But they are anchoring the light as they go. The light is always within me. I can feel what I gotta feel and heal what I gotta heal, but at the core of me is light. The light is always within me. It's E equals MC squared, not shadow equals MC squared. Even the darkness is part of the divine. It has just forgotten or is pretending not to be within us all. Fear is not a thing, it's an absence of love. Shadow is not a thing, it's an absence of light. And so that in their work, they can accentuate the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of their spirit while they go through this intense going to or rising from the ashes, even if they're going to the ashes in their work. Heart, third eye crown, they will rise from them, and it is certainly time for that. The fates have woven it, right? It's into the tapestry. The wheel is turning. This is all under perfect timing, which means they didn't fuck anything up. It's just going to take some more time, perhaps, while they untangle neglect, taking the time to give themselves all the approval they desire in terms of the nurturing, drawing it up perhaps from the Earth Mother herself for the guidance, the grace of how to nurture, support, love, and care for themselves, bringing themselves into alignment and fulfilling their alignment of work, career, vocation, all 8 chakras into one harmonious movement from inspiration down into physical form, fulfilling not just their life purpose for their well-being, but for the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is, and thank you so much for bearing with me through a very chaotic Monday, April 4th at the time of this recording. Whew, and I've still got a private read to do today at Natureceuticals in Holbrook. Gonna read them before they book me for well, they already booked me for the tarot party, but I'm reading the management there first so they get my vibe. Both barrels is what they're gonna get after this. So did you like it? Hit the thumbs up, help other Saggies find it. Want more of me here on YouTube? Subscribe and hit the notification bell because I put these out when they're done. As I mentioned earlier, I've taken myself off the YouTube treadmill, burning myself out, cranking out as much content as possible. Why? Because I am on Patreon. Patreon.com/join the circle. Come Patreon on Patreon. I'm having a field day over there, and it is my creativity, my work, career, vocation given a physical form every day. Digging it so much. I stream every morning with coffee and a bathrobe, and I talk about the lunar astrology. Other than that, seriously, wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed. You do you. You find your way. Just don't negotiate the power of your spirit for safety and comfort. That's the test we've all been going through on planet Earth since jump. How you doing? Wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed, my beloved Sagitt crabby asses. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.